Happy to have you, my guy.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much. It's good talking to somebody from the crib, so that's all good right there. Know the places I know.
Yeah, we both from Texas. I had no idea you was from Galveston.
Born and raised, baby. Born and raised, man. Went to Galveston Ball and ran track. We used to come out to Houston, man, and tab the whole greater Houston area, man, in track, man. You know, Butler Stadium over there where TSU relays used to be. So yeah, man, I got a lot of memories in Houston, man. I love coming back home. Every Christmas we'll come home, and the summer we'll come home, man. Because I married a girl from Galveston. You know, we was in the same class. So yeah.
Yeah, Galveston, that's a good area, man. I used to go there a lot when I was a kid.
Yes, sir. You see my shirt right here, man. Galveston Ball, baby. Class of 84. I just happened to have this shirt on today. Ain't this funny?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But tell me if I'm wrong, but you was real good at football, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was a blue chip athlete. You know, I had a scholarship to every school in the country, man, except HBCUs. They didn't come for the top athletes back in the 80s, man. But I had a offer to almost every school in the United States and ended up going to SMU. They was number 3 in the nation at the time. And we ended up getting the death penalty my third year there in 87. So we was the only team in the NCAA history, man, with a death penalty. They have a story on us on ESPN called 30 for 30, called Pony Excess. And that's about us, man.
So when that happened, you was there.
Yes, sir. I was right there. You see me walking up to the campus that day. They had me walking up to the campus, man, and ended up transferring to University of Missouri my last year. And that's why I started majoring in theater, man. That's when I started. It was like the best thing that ever happened to me. Because when I started taking theater classes.
Yeah, I seen that documentary too when it first came out. But for the people that don't know what that is in football terms, let the people know what that is.
Is the death penalty? Yeah. Well, it was sanctions that came down on us because of illegal recruiting violations. They said that we were getting paid to play, and they was paying the athletes, and they were already on probation, and they got caught again. So when they got caught again, they came down. They gave us the hammer, man. We was a small school, but we had national recognition. So they pretty much made an example out of us, but it messed up the whole Southwest Conference. There's no Southwest Conference no more. So I don't think another school will ever receive those type of sanctions because that was like the true death penalty. It killed not only our school, but it killed the whole Southwest Conference.
Crazy, man. But yeah, they balling out now though. I mean, they bounced back. I mean, I think last year they was in the playoffs and they having a solid year this year. So
Yeah, we raised and said last year we made the playoffs, so they still doing well this year. So I'm pulling for the boys.
yeah, they definitely bounced back. But I do want to ask you, I'm assuming when y'all had that death penalty, that's what made you, transfer to Missouri, right?
Yep, transferred to University of Missouri. I needed 3 hours to transfer, man, and I started taking a theater class, and I excelled in the class. I always wanted to be an actor since I was in the 4th grade. So when I got into that theater class, I excelled, man. I was making A's and on all the projects, and I got into one scene so deep, man. I lost myself in the scene, and when the class started clapping, it like brought me back into reality. You know, I'm like, wow, I have something here. Then I went to University of Missouri and continued my theater career and did a play called Soldiers Play. We did like 8 nights in college, standing ovation every night. I played CJ Memphis. So I had to sing. And it's funny, man, because they told me to sing a song. I didn't know what song to sing in the audition. They said, you have to sing something. And his assistant, Clyde Ruffin, he was a professor and a director. He said, sing something, man. I mean, so his assistant say, sing Row, 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 Boat. He like, hell no. Sing something. I bust out that Bootsy. A smile of joy, a tear of laughter, as in happy. I went straight to my Bootzilla days, baby.
When you was at Missouri, was you playing football?
Yeah, I play football over there, man. You know, it's funny because Dallas gave me a chance, and the Patriots wanted to draft me. 2 teams that I hate the most wanted me. I don't like either one of those teams, man, but they the ones gave me an opportunity. But I didn't want to play football no more, man. I told my friends, I say, hey man, I'm going to Hollywood and hang with true story. I'm going to Hollywood, hang with Stallone and them. I said, the next time you see me, I'm gonna be on TV. So I went out to Hollywood. Me and my wife packed up a little Nissan Sentra, drove out there. And man, the first movie I did was a movie with Stallone. And the next time I seen him, I was on TV. That's just how it went down. I called it didn't happen.
So what was that like for you going from Galveston to LA? Like, what's that difficult?
Man, it was a challenge, man, but all the pieces fell into place for me. You know, I mean, I was staying, me and my wife stayed with my aunt for like a week, and her friend, um, she was running an apartment complex in Glendale. And so she got my wife and I a place in Glendale. And, you know, I got an agent and started auditioning, man. And you know, I was getting parts. I was like booking here, booking there. And one day went home to Texas and for a week. And me and my friend, we was watching Martin. He had a lot of videotapes of Martin. And I was on the floor dying laughing, man, at Dragonfly Jones' character. Because we had a dude in our high school, man. He was older than us. He's like 30 years old. He used to come by in his Corvette. And on the side of his Corvette, he had a big letters called Karate Man. So he reminded me, you know, Dragonfly Jones reminded me of Karate Man. And man, I was laughing, crying, laughing on the floor, man. Went back to LA the next week and they called me in for audition for Martin. And I auditioned for Martin, man, and got the part. And the rest, history, man, you know. But I was doing a lot of things before Martin. I remember me and Carl Payne that played Cole on Martin. We did a show called True Colors on Fox, you know, before Martin. And so I knew him before I started working on Martin, man, because I used to have to pick him up every day. I used to pick him up, take him to the set, and used to always make me late. But I used to pick him up, take him to the set, and, you know, that's how they went. And from there, man, I started getting parts and, you know, just started working. Been working acting.
Do you remember your audition for Martin? How was that like?
Oh yeah, vividly. Eileen McKnight, she was a casting director, and she called me in, and I did it one way. She said, "Well, can you do it a little differently?" I went back to my old days in Galveston, man. How we talking at the crib, you know. And I know I'm a class of '84, so I threw up the four fingers for fifth floor. That was like a shout out to the class of '84, right? So when I went in, I did that. I started talking with the Texas slang, and you know, hey, you know, it get done tomorrow, bro. You know, it's dragging them words how we do sometimes. And she like, cool. Let me take you across the street. She took me across the street to meet Martin and the producers. They were sitting there with their hats out to the side, looking like gangsters. So when I went in there and hit them, man, they was in there rolling, man. They were rolling. So they gave me the part right there on the spot. Matter of fact, they called my agent, and I had to go to work that day because they called me and said we want to work right now. We're going to table read and blah blah blah. They did the contract, and I started that day. That's the first time I ever booked a job and had to work that day.
So tell me, how did one episode turn into 12?
Well, John Kreis, man, the guy that played Sean on the show. When I came on the first episode, you know, when I took the sweater off, tight sweater, and walked out. So John made a he made a suggestion to Marty. He said, it'd be funny, man, if bruh man come back at the end and hug the crowd. I mean, hug the group, because when they said, bruh man need love too. So that was his idea. And when I did that, it came back, man, the audience went crazy. So Martin was like, you know what, man, we're going to bring you back. We're going to bring you back. And they kept bringing me back. You know, the audience went crazy. Every time I came through the door, the audience went crazy. So yeah, that's how it went back. That's how it went about.
I heard it's a story behind the slow walk.
Yeah, man, the slow walk. But like I said, I was right out of college, man, out of theater. And, theater, you taught to stay in your light, stay in your light and project, to the back of the theater. So I had a mentality to stay in my light. So when I got up, even though it was 5 cameras, so I got up, I was walking slow so that my mother and them could see me longer. I said, I want mama and them at home, and my sister to, see me on TV. So I started walking slow in front of the cameras. And Tashina was busting out, man. She said, "Y'all see the walk, man? Y'all see the walk?" At the end, when we tried to say, man, the walk was hilarious. And that's how that stayed in. So we made up a lot of stuff as we went along. Like, I was coming out when I came out, when I started going out the window, I was walking out the door. Mark said, it'd be funny, man, if you turn and go out the window. That'd be funny. So I did that, went out the window, man. Audience, they was dying. So that's how we established going in and out the window.
It was a situation you had, right, where they didn't want you on the show no more because you wanted more money?
Yeah, man, it was a situation where I thought I should get paid a little bit more. We wanted more because it was another season, and so I said when coming back. So they called us in. I had my manager with me at the time, which was my cousin who was from Houston, and she didn't know what she was doing, but we act like we did. So we went in. She was a pretty girl, so she played the little role, and we ended up getting what we wanted, man. We ended up getting what we wanted, and that's how I got back on the show. That's how I think they brought Tracy on there too at that time. So, I don't know if they were trying to fill in, but Tracy was hilarious, man. And we both worked it, and he was funny, I was funny, and that's how it went down.
So your cousin was acting like your manager.
Yeah, exactly. We know what he's doing, man. But we got the deal. I mean, I think actually I believe they wanted me back on, and the fans wanted me back on. So I don't think I think it was a no-brainer to have me back. So we never had, I never sat out. When it was time for me to come, I came back and we did it. So rest is history. I think I tell people I got my master's degree, in comedy on Martin and my PhD on Bernie.
Yeah, y'all got it done. But at the beginning, was it a little difficult?
Oh yeah. It wasn't really bad. It was, then I got to the point, like I was with William Morris agency, and my agent at the time was Jenny Delaney, and she was like, okay, well, Martin them, they started going in another direction for as where he created another show with Tashina. And I wanted to be a part of that show, and he wanted me to be a part of that show. But my agents told me not to do it, man. I kind of regret that, but that's how it went down. But in the beginning, it wasn't really like the negotiations where it got bitter. I'm coming if I don't get this. We're not giving you that. Blah, blah. It was just that I thought I should get a little more than what I was getting. And they was like, cool, okay, yeah, man, we want you back on the show. Let's make it happen. And they made it happen. So it wasn't, no back and forth like that.
Was you shook at first though? Like, damn, they might get me out of here. Keep it a buck.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was my bread and butter, man. Hell yeah. I was telling my agent, man, hey, let's get this done. So we got it done. Cause I wanted to be back, man. I wanted to be back. I had fun on that show, I mean, the cast was cool. Me and Tommy got along the most, because I used to hang out with him because he liked electronics. I like electronics. And at the time, he had the little bitty the VCR, you could carry on the plane and stuff. So he hooked me up with one, so me and him used to hang out, man. And I loved the cast, man. The girls were cool, pretty. Always smelled good, like they just got out the tub. So it was fun working over there, man. Martin was cool. I ain't never had no problems with Martin, man. He was always cool with me.
Yeah, I had no idea that you and Tommy was that close. And y'all was on Class Act too, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny how that worked out. That worked out because, when I first came out, man, I was trying to, get my union card, your SAG card, and only way you get your SAG card is to be in a movie and speak lines. And the only way to get in the movie and speak lines, you have to have your SAG card. So I was in this movie one time. I was supposed to be a stand-in. I was just supposed to be a stand-in for this actor that didn't show up. So it was a River Phoenix movie called I Love You to Death. River Phoenix, may he rest in peace, and Kevin Kline, Tracy Ullman. And so I was just supposed to stand there and you know, until the actor come, then they put the camera on the actor. I just stand there till they set the camera up. And the actor didn't show up. So I say, man, so I'm gonna start talking. That's the only thing they could do is tell me to shut up and go home. I said, they can't put their hands on me. So I said, I'm gonna start talking. So I started talking, and Lawrence Kasdan was the director. And they came, you know, the Big Chill and a lot of big movies. They gave me a contract. You know, I was talking, they gave me a contract, and that's how I got my union card. So when I did Class Act, man, me and Tommy and, you know, Kid and Play and all those were talking on the set, you know, this shooting the junk. And I said, yeah, man, you know, something like, yeah, when you got your SAG card? I said, I got it doing this movie. I Love You to Death, man. This actor didn't show up. Tommy say, what? He said, you was on what movie? I said, I Love You to Death. He said, with Kevin Kline, Tracy? I said, yeah. He said, man, I'm the actor that didn't show up. I say, really? He said, yeah, man, because I was doing Class Act. I was doing the Harlem Nights. And the reason Tommy was doing the Harlem Nights, that's how I got my SAG card, man, because he didn't show up for that movie. That's how they worked out, man. yeah, that's how they worked out. Where I said, man, cool, it worked out for me, bro. I'm glad you didn't show up. And then me and him became buddies, man. We started talking and all that. And yeah, I used to go to his house, hang out. You know, Tommy had an elevator in his house, man. I was drawn back by that. I'm like, man, you got an elevator in your crib, man. So Tommy was making some good money on Martin.
R.I.P. to Tommy. Sounds like a real good dude, man. Respectfully, what was that like for you when you heard that he passed away?
Man, it was tough, man, because I was in Baltimore doing a comedy show, and he was in town, man. He came through. You know, she said, man, I'm coming through, man, check you out. I said, cool, man. He came through. We kicked it for a little bit. And, man, you know, a few, months, a couple of years later, maybe, probably not that long, but um, um, one of his friends called, you know, matter of fact, Dee Dee mother that was on Bernie Mac, she called, man, and she told me, she said, you know, she said, we lost Tommy today. I said, oh man, that hurt it, right? That hurt, you know, because that was, like I said, that was my dude, man. That was my dude. Cool brother. Man, I mean, calling me, get any kind of information that you need, any kind of direction that you need. You know, he was a director too, man, because he went to USC Film School. He was supposed to direct Fridays. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he told me that, but they gave it to F. Gary Gray.
From what you know, was everything okay with his health?
Yeah, man, he went in to get a knee replacement. And somebody told me, I think he had a stomach aneurysm, you know. And I had another friend just recently, man, may rest in peace, Stan Ralph, you know, Shirley Lee Ralph brother. Last week, man, you know, he went in, he fell down the stairs and he had his knees, you know, his knees was, I think he tore some ligaments in his knee. And he went in, you know, he couldn't move. And all of a sudden, man, blood clot went to his brain and, you know, took him out, you know. So people ask me, man, I need to get my knee replaced, man. I'm like, wow, I don't know about that. You know, I'm gonna have to limp the rest of my life. But, you know, these two dudes, man, they two cool dudes, man. I mean, you know, Mike Ralph, you know, he was the other guy with us on the Bernie Mac show, the bald head dude sitting at the table. That's his brother. You know, him and Shirley Lee Ralph, and they got another brother named Tim. And man, I you know, my heart go out to the family, man, because Stan was one of them dudes that, just like Tommy, man, you can go to them, they make you laugh, you know, never said nothing bad about anybody. But that's how he went out, man. But yeah, you know, knees, man, they just went in for their knee. So yeah.
How was it like working with him on the show?
Oh man, shoot, man. Tommy Tommy sometimes couldn't keep his laugh in, man. Like you know, the Nino Brown episode. Tommy was laughing his butt off when he came out with the fake dog, man. Because, you know, we didn't know that Marv was going to have a fake dog, supposed to be a real dog. But they couldn't get the real dog at the last minute. So Mark came out with the fake dog. And, man, Tommy just lost it, though. He lost it. So he was that type of cat, you know, that man, you had fun with, man. You know, Martin sometimes used to clash with cats on the set. You never seen him clash with Tommy. I mean, Tommy was that type of dude that was always mellowed out, laid back, and, you know, just want to work and have fun, man. I was the same way. So I think that's why me and him got along real well.
So it's supposed to be a real dog?
Yeah, man, he's a real dog. But they didn't get the clearance to get the dog. So Martin came out and improvised with a fake dog. Man, that was genius, man. Genius. That's one of my favorite episodes right there. I like all of them that I did, but that was one of my favorite right there. Because everybody was fighting hard to hold them laughs.
So you got to get clearance to get a dog on set?
Yeah, man. You know, that's the union, man. You know, union take care of dogs and kids very well. You know, so the kids have to be at school at a certain time of day. So you be filming. And if your kid on the set, you know, if it's time for them to go to school, you shut that down. They got to go to school and you got to work around that. You know, animals, you know, they protected on set. So, you know, you can't do certain things with animals and kids on the set, man. Because it's sad, the Screen Actors Guild, the union would come down hard on you if you don't follow the rule.
And you said that he'll get into it with the people on set?
Yeah, you know, sometimes like Marvin was a perfectionist, man. I mean, you know, sometimes when he's doing this thing, you know, something he joke and play around sometimes, but you know, when it's time to get serious, he gets serious, man. And you know, sometimes, man, you know, if you're not ready, you know, don't come not ready. You know what I mean? And then, you know, he'll let you know, hey man, come on, man, let's get this done. You know, so yeah, it wasn't nothing to the point that, you know, he was fighting or nothing like that, but you know, you just be ready. But everybody was pretty professional on that set. So, you know, sometimes if you come up with a stupid idea, he'll let you know, man, that's stupid, man. So you couldn't just get across on him, you know what I mean? If it didn't make sense, nah, that ain't funny, man. He'll let you know. He wanted to just brush it off and say, oh yeah, we'll think about it. You're like, nah, man, that ain't funny. Let's move on. That type of stuff.
I heard that he got into it with the producers over you because they told you the wrong time to be on set.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's one of the instances, man. You know, I was there early. I think I was there like 9 o'clock, and I say, yeah, man. I thought I was supposed to be here at like 10, and I have to be at 11, so I'm just gonna chill in my dressing room. He said, oh yeah, because he had stopped and he saw me walking on the lot, so he gave me a ride to the set. And I told him that I was just talking in general, man. I said, man, I got 2 hours just to chill. You know, I was cool with that. You know, I'd go hang in my trailer and, you know, watch some TV and hang out. And so, man, we sat down at the table, man, do the table read. And Martin said, hey, to the producers, who told Reg to be here, you know, at 10 when he was supposed to be here at 11? And they said, no, he didn't know that. So, man, they went to the back, man. They was in there arguing and hollering and screaming. And I'm sitting there, man, like I'm the donkey of the day, like I done told on somebody. I didn't tell to be like telling on the person. I was just saying I got 2 hours to chill. I was happy, you know, it wasn't no big deal to me. And yeah, they got into it, man. I was like, I felt bad, man, because you know, it make me, you know, the cast looking at me, I'm sitting there trying to hold my head down like, oh man, I'm feeling like dumb now. Like I told, you know, I guess you don't do that because, you know, Martin look out after the cast like that. So that's how it went down. But everything was smooth now, and nobody ever approached me about it and said, you know, why you told Martin? It wasn't like that. But it was embarrassing for me because it felt like I snitched on somebody.
Damn, so you felt embarrassed by it.
Yeah, man, yeah, because it was like I snitched, like I told and got the producers in trouble. You know, that's how I felt. I mean, it wasn't no thing to me. I'm like, hey, man, I'm cool. I like being on the set anyway. So, you know, I can just hang out and watch the rest of them do their job and, you know, learn a lot. And that's like, I used to like to come early anyway, because I was supposed to be at 10. I was already at 9. So I wanted to just come and watch them work. So wasn't no thing. That's why I say it was minor to me, but, you know, it was major to him. He got mad at that because, you know, I think he was looking out for me. Like, why y'all have him here so early when he wasn't supposed to be? He could have been chilling like that. But I wasn't saying that for that instance. I was saying it in a way that I was happy that shoot, I got like 2 hours now to chill instead of 1, you know? So yeah, I'd have been there 3 hours early. And I just like being around it, man. I like being around that type atmosphere. You know, it was type of atmosphere that you love working, you know. I loved it over there. Yeah. I just found it funny that, you know, that it turned into that because I didn't have that intention. That wasn't my intentions you know, to reprimand somebody, you know, because I'm early. You usually do that when you're late. If I was late and they would have got on me for being late and he would have got it and he would have went in there and got on for getting on me, then that would have been a different thing. If you notice that last season, we didn't have an audience. They didn't have an audience because it was the tension, you know, because Martin couldn't be not only the set, but he couldn't even be on a lot at the same time as Tisha was on a lot. So, you know, a lot of us didn't see that stuff happening. You know, I mean, we knew what was going on, that they couldn't be, but I wasn't there that fifth season, man. So I don't know what went on because I think I only did that fourth season, and I don't think I did any episodes of the fifth season. If I did, I don't remember. But yeah, man, it was to the point where she couldn't be on the set and he on the set at the same time. Not well, they couldn't be on a lot at the same. She couldn't be on Universal a lot when he was there shooting, and vice versa. So yeah, they just I don't know how they got into it or how they started, you know. But it's funny, man. I never seen that, man. Now I used to see him and Carl, you know, go back and forth sometime. You know, Carl would say it'd be funny if I did it this way, if you did it that way. If it was my show, I do it. Bernie, you know, I heard Martin, well, this ain't your show. So I heard that kind of stuff, you know, yeah, but I never seen him and Tisha ever get into it. I never seen him and, you know, I just seen him and the producers. And I ain't see that. I heard it because they was in the back room. But no, man, you know, people say that, but I, you know, I only could speak on what I saw. See, I wasn't no Martin every day, man. I was on there every now and then. When they said action, just chilling. When they say cut, catch y'all tomorrow. That was it, man. So I didn't see none of that. I was way away from that. I'm glad too, because I wouldn't even want to talk about it if I was there. But you know, what happened between them, you know, I think they patched it up now. You know, so they patched it up, came together for a reunion, and we was in the reunion. We did the reunion show, man. That was like family all over again. Everybody was cool, joking, laughing, hugging. So it wasn't, you know, I guess that beef that they had, man, they squashed that.
So Martin and Cole, we get into it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Him and Martin used to clash sometimes, man. You know, but I think it was creative differences. It wasn't. I don't know if it was anything personal. It was, you know, creative differences, man. I mean, you know, Carr been in the game probably longer than Martin, and Martin been in the game. You know, he was you know, way up there in the game. And so they used to clash over creative ideas, man. You know, Carl might think it's funnier this way. Martin might say, no, it's funny that way. And then they start saying, you know, well, hey man, for my show, well, it ain't your show. So do it my way. And like that, you know, yeah, that's how yeah. So I don't know if it was personal or not, but Carl could tell you different, but it could have been. You know, but then if you try to, you know, overpower the guy, you can't overpower the guy. If you the guy, you know, you do what I tell you to do. You know, to me, this show been around 3 years, 4 years, and, you know, is successful. So what I'm doing must be right, you know. But if something was funny and Martin liked it, he used it because the fifth flow wasn't on there. You know, it's supposed to be the fifth flow. And I just put my hand up with the fifth flow. I did like that. And everybody was like, why everybody laughing when you do that? They say, well, you can't see he's doing the fifth flow, man. But he holding up 4 fingers. Martin couldn't see it. He said, well, don't do it like that. Do it like that. He said, you could see it like that. So when I did it like that, he's like, that's funny, man. That's funny. So, you know, that was something that wasn't in the script that he approved of. Did he say, that's cool. You know, let's do it like that. Then the words that I used to play, you know, Martin, you know, this from Texas, man. So he know. I mean, me being from Texas, they couldn't write the stuff that I would say. So I would say the things that I say, then they put it in the script. So they have it in the script a certain way, but the way I say it, they have to go back and redo it to make it seem like they wrote it. But you couldn't write the way Bruh Man spoke. So the way I spoke, Martin was like, cool, man. He said, you did it. When you came, a lot of people came in audition, but you put that flavor in there that I liked. He say, so yeah, man, we might have you back. And that's how that went down. So if it was something that you did that he liked, he cool. When it was something that you did that he didn't like, he'll let you know.
I like that, man. But yeah, that's crazy, man. That Tisha and Martin, they couldn't even be on the same lot.
Nah, man, after last season, man, they couldn't be on the same line. It was like, a lawyer type thing, studios, man. It's like, okay, I don't want to be on there when he there and, vice versa. So how they went down, but they squashed it. So I was happy to see that, man.
How was y'all shoot?
Well, they worked around it, man. They made it, they did a lot of split screen and they made it seem like Martin was talking on the phone, made it seem like she was in another room. You could hear the voice and, Hollywood know how to do stuff like that, man. They can make people look like twins on the show and like they sit right next to each other. So it's ways to work around stuff, man. It's imagination. So they fixed it so that like if you go back and look at it, you probably didn't even realize that they wasn't in the same room at the same time. You probably don't even know. You probably say, "Oh yeah, it's cool," but you never seen them hugging and kissing. You just see them talking, and from another room, or she on the phone out of town, or something like that. So that's how they went down.
Hypothetically speaking, right? If everything would have been good between Tisha and Martin, do you think the show would have lasted a few more seasons? And what was your reaction when you first heard about the friendship between the two?
Well, first of all, like I say, I wasn't there when they was beefing. I wasn't on this, but I don't think the show would have been on because Martin had got to the point he was too big for TV. That's when he started doing the Bad Boy, all that kind of the movies. So Mama's House, Big Mama's House, and stuff like that. So like I say, 5 seasons on a sitcom is a lifetime. That means you get paid for the rest of your life, man. I just got a residual check the other day, so you get paid. I still get nice residual checks from Martin. So I probably did more than 12. I got to go back and count because the money be pretty good. So, yeah, oh yeah, man. So he was too big for TV at that time after the 5th season. It was like, I remember we came in one time when Bad Boys was number one in the world, number one movie out. And he came in to rehearse. We had rehearsal. And he said, hey, man, he said, I got the number one movie. It's a good day today. I'm out. Threw the script up. He left, man. And, he said, I'm hanging out today. So we was in there rehearsing. Martin was gone. So right there was the time I was like, yeah, he on another level now. He on another level. So he didn't have to be committed to do the show because it was time for him to move to bigger and better things. So I don't think it would have been going on, it should have been, it could have been. Could have been like Seinfeld. We could have been 13 seasons. But I don't know. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been dope. And you said that the residuals is good money. Can you live off of it?
No, you can't live on it because they come few and far between. No, because they come too far apart. You might get a residual every 3 months. And it ain't that much to get, But I remember when I first got my first Bernie Mac residual, woo, yeah, you can live off of that for a year. In Houston, you can live off that one for a year, And then I got my second one. It came quick. And I was like, man, shoot, I could have lived in a nice apartment in Houston for 2 years, man. So that was, because I did way more Bernie. And they still come in. Then they have Bernie now. They put it on Netflix. So I'm waiting for that. That should be a big one coming in December. So I'm waiting on that one so I can come home for Christmas. So yeah, you get paid, man. You get residual checks, man. Sometimes, like I've done so many things, man. I've done ER, NCIS, Bones, Parkers, Veronica Mars, Caroline in the City, so many other shows that I've done, but I'm known for the Martin Show. So, I get a lot of residual checks from here and there, and keep gas in the car. So it's cool with me. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I've done, man. I've done so many things, but that Martin thing, that's what they know me for. They know me for the Martin. And that's cool. I'm good with that. I'm proud of it. Barry White, who's from Galveston, Texas. Barry White said, if you're in the music business, man, and you make one hit song, they said it's a lifetime, man, because a lot of people, man, spend a lot of time in this business not getting recognized. But if you get one hit song and somebody recognize you and know you from that, he said, man, you'd have made it. So I feel, if I die today, man, hey, I've done something that I'm proud of doing. It enabled me to travel all over the world, been to like 20 different countries, doing comedy. Because after the Martin Show, that's when I started doing comedy. And I'm an actor acting like a comic. I can make you laugh about 45, 50 minutes. After that, you better come see about me. But it's all good, man. I've been all over the world, man, doing this. And it's because of the Martin Show.
Facts. But a lot of people don't know that you was on the Bernie Mac show longer, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. People think that I did way more Martins than I did Bernie. I think I was on 12. Somebody told me it was 24 the other day, but I don't know, man. I think it was 12. I only could count 12, but but I know I did like 39, 40 episodes of Bernie. And that was a whole different atmosphere, man. I mean, working on Bernie was like going to Astroworld back in the day. It was like going to Astroworld and having fun. I mean, you went over there, man, and Bernie was like letting you do what you do. He like, man, do what you do, man. I mean, we had so much fun sitting at the card table playing poker that we were so good at what we do. It was like a well-oiled machine, man. We'll be talking and jokes and around the table, then they say action. And we go right into our scene. They say cut, we go right back into laughing and joking and stuff, man. That's how well oiled. I couldn't wait to get to set on Bernie. I used to be looking at the clock like, man, I got 10 hours before I get back to the set. Dang. That's how I used to want to go, work on Bernie, man. It was totally different. Totally different.
Yeah, I heard you make a comment before about how that was the best job you ever had.
Best job I ever had in Hollywood so far, working on Bernie Mac show. That was like being in the candy store and being able to eat whatever you want, when you want. Because Bernie, I mean, we used to be so laid back, man. Like, only time we had to really focus is when we had guest stars on the show sitting at the table with us, because we didn't know they cadence, we didn't know they vibe. And, we had to really hone in to their cadence and their vibe in order to make it work. So, but when we were there, just us, oh man, it was like, it wouldn't even work, man. It was like we were so good at doing what we do that Bernie just tells stories, man. It was so funny. We used to be laughing, and then they say action, boom, we hit it. They cut, then he go right back into the story. So that's why I love working over there, man. That was the best. That was the best. When he went out, dude, that was hard to take right there, boy. That was a major blow. I didn't get a chance to go to the funeral, man, because I was doing something in Dallas, I think, at the time. And man, that kind of hurt right there, man, because that dude he was special. When Bernie asked you how you doing, he meant how you doing. He knew what kind of movie deal you got, how much money you have. Bernie meant how you doing. That was my man.
R.I.P. Bernie Mac, man. I never heard anything flawed about him. All the people I spoke to, I never heard anybody say anything negative about him.
No, Bernie was real. He wasn't nothing fake, no Hollywood stuff. I mean, Bernie meant what he said. He said what he meant what he said. And, he didn't get into that game. We used to golf and stuff, man. And I mean, he was that dude, you invited you to the party, invited you to, his dressing room where he had the good food. He said, man, I got the good food up here, man. Y'all come, we had smothered chicken. I got some greens, some beans. Yeah, I ain't got to be eating at lunch down there. So Bernie used to hook us up, he'd tell us to come up to the room and eat, me and the other two dudes. And he was that type of dude. Super Bowl party, man. We go over there, hang out, Super Bowl party. And, Bernie was that dude, man. I mean, it was nothing like fake about that cat, man. I mean, he'd tell you how he felt.
When did he tell you that he was sick?
Well, we knew. He said he had that sarcoidosis, man. Affect your lungs, and so he was on meds, and they had him taking prednisone. So he was swollen. His face was swollen. You could tell on some of the episodes. And he used to have to go do a scene, then we go off to the side. He had a dressing room on the side where he go and get the oxygen. He had a dressing room upstairs too, but he go get the oxygen, do a scene, then go get the oxygen, come back. So that's when we knew that it was pretty serious. So yeah, Bernie was, he I think he worked himself to death, because he was doing too many things at one time. And this kind of wore him down, I believe.
I hate to hear that, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he'll do the scene, man. He'll walk off and go get the oxygen, and then when it's time for us to work, they'll bring him back over there, come back over there, do it like the professional he was. Do it, and then probably was hurting, probably couldn't breathe, and he was doing it. One time he told us a story. He said, "Man, when he first, was he had to go to the hospital. He was in the hospital, and he said, "Man, he said brothers ain't right, man. He said my people ain't right." He said, "I'm laying up in the hospital, man. I'm sick, man. Look like I'm about to die." And he said, "The nurses coming there to me, prop him up, prop him up. Let's take a picture. Prop him up." He said they propped me up, man. I'm taking pictures of me. So Bernie used to make jokes of everything, man. And yeah, he was like, that's what he did. So I remember his daughter told us, man, like when he was sick, she came in there and she was talking to him. And when she got ready to leave, she was leaving, and he said she looked back at him and he said, I'm dead. Like that, like I'm dead. And that really hurt me right there when she told me that sometimes, it break me down, man, but I ain't gonna let it break me down today. But yeah, so he knew. Yeah, he struggled with that for a while, man.
Yeah, man. Hell of a dude, man. Never heard a suspect story or anything. He definitely came across
Nah.
like a man's man, man.
Yep. Loved his family.
R.I.P. Bernie, man. Hell of a guy. But she was telling me that, when he was in the hospital, that they'll prop him up so he could take pictures.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they used to prop him up, take pictures. He used to laugh, man. He said, "Man, he said, my people ain't right, man. Prop him up. Prop him up. Let's get the picture. Click, click." So Bernie kept everything funny, man. He kept everything funny. I don't care, Bernie be on his deathbed and still try to keep it funny. So that's how he was, man. That's how he was. I mean, he joked with us. He said when the last season, the season before time to get picked up, he said, man, he called everybody together, cast and crew and everybody on the stage. He said, "Hey, Fox, it's gonna be the last episode because Fox don't want to give me what I want." And man, so I'm sorry to tell y'all, everybody like, "Oh man," they people throwing up the clipboards and stuff like, "Dang." He said, "I'm just joking, man. I just got another deal, big deal, man. We gonna be working together." That was Bernie right there. So he make everybody down, and then he come back with, I got the big deal, man. So everybody finna get paid. So that's the kind of dude he was, man.
Yeah, I was hearing that, when Hollywood, when they found out that he was sick, they try to capitalize off of him by having him do a whole lot of projects before he passed away. You know anything about that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, what happened was, man, I wouldn't say capitalized. What happened was he was doing Guess Who. That was his breakout movie, his first solo, movie. and they wanted he was doing Ocean's 11. So Ocean's 11 had to push the production back because Brad Pitt had broken his ankle. And so they told Bernie, well, we got to do this. And it was going to go into Bernie time shooting Guess Who. So Bernie's like, well, I got to do this. So he said, man, he said, Reg, they called me. They took me to dinner. He said, man, it was like the mob, man. He said, he would tell him, "Look, Bernie, we made you. We do this, man, and you got this stuff going on over there. We the one made you." Bernie said he got so scared that when they got through talking, he say, "Hey, man, y'all ain't gonna kill me, man. Y'all gonna kill me." he said he was scared, man. So he said they didn't kill him, but they like took he's supposed to do the movie 3 months of the movie. They cut it down to 3 weeks, and he's supposed to make $3 million, and they cut him down to like 500,000. He said, man, it was crazy, but it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault that Brad Pitt broke his ankle. So Bernie was like, man, shoot, I'm trying to do my project. It was his first solo movie, so he wanted that to be well. So I think it was a lot of pressure on him, man. He's like, had to do this, had to do that, and trying to do comedy, and man, I think it wore itself out.
Yeah, they had him doing too much, but I like to hear that, man. That you working on the Bernie Mac show was so much fun. It
Yeah.
sounds like you enjoyed yourself. You calling it the best job you ever had. So yeah, that's dope to hear, man.
Oh man, it was everything was copacetic. I mean, we had a ball. I mean, oh man, like I say, dude, that was man. If I could do that job the rest of my life, it'd be like I have to pay people back, man. It's like stealing candy from a baby. It was so much fun. I mean, Bernie made it cool. Just imagine going to a set and your head dude, man, you cool with, he want to come down there and talk and chop it up, laugh and tell stories too, man. And he ain't putting no pressure on you. If you know your lines, which we always, we did know our lines, but he ain't sweat about that junk because a lot of times he ain't know his. but we got through him, you know what I'm saying? And but he was always professional, man. I mean, Bernie, man, that was the one. That was the one. I don't know if I ever get another show that can top the fun that I had working on that show. All the cast over
Why
there,
did
man.
it show him?
Well, Bernie was fun to do movies. When he's finna, did 5 seasons, which is, the lifetime of a sitcom. You do 100 episodes, man, and you getting paid for the rest of your life, with the residuals and all that stuff. So Bernie, after them 5, matter of fact, I left the 4th season, the 5th season, I wasn't there. They had that's when they brought Anthony Anderson on. I wasn't there because I was doing another show on ABC called the Crumbs with the guy. I forgot. I forgot the name of it. But I was doing that show Crumbs, man. And it was on the same lot, but I couldn't do both of them. They wouldn't let me do ABC and Fox at that time, Yeah, so I didn't do the 5th season. But Bernie, it was like, hey man, we gonna miss you over here. I said, I'm gonna miss being over here. But they was trying to make me a regular over on ABC, which was a lot more money. But had fun over there too. Had fun over there too. Jane Curtin, that's her name. Jane Curtin, she was over there. She was like one of the original Saturday Night Live cast, Conehead, and Fred Savage and William Devane. That was that show, Crumb. So I did like 13 episodes of that show.
Gotta ask you. I had no idea that you auditioned for O-Dog.
Menace? Yes, sir. Audition for O-Dog. I don't know if he had everybody audition for O-Dog, but audition for O-Dog. And man, he liked me, man. He was like, man, but I don't know if I was, too old. But, I don't care how old I would have been or how good, man. I mean, Lorenz Tate rocked that part, man. Nobody could have been better than that dude. That dude, he one of my favorite actors, man. Lorenz Tate. I go to the movie to see his movies because he put work in and I like his style. But I auditioned for that part. And He liked it. The Hughes brothers, they liked it. They say, man, you know what, we gonna get you, and we got something. And they put me in the beginning, you know, Clyde, you know, get a little nigga a drink. That was my junk, you know. It's part of a grown folks, you know. So that was my claim right there, man, in Menace to Society. I didn't know it was gonna turn out to be such a big movie like that, but it did. I was playing like I was 15 years old. I think I was 23 at the time. On the porch on me and Glenn Plummer.
And you did a good job from what they told you.
Yeah, yeah, they loved it. They loved my character. They that's how I got that part because they say, man, we gonna find something for you because you did a good job. I said, okay, and they put me in that.
And I know Pac, he was actually, supposed to be in that movie. And I know you told a story about seeing him at the comedy store, right?
Yeah, man, I went to see comedy at the comedy store in Hollywood. Man, I went there and I was just watching comedy. And then, you know, I said I'm gonna leave early because I want to leave before everybody come out because you know they'll be taking pictures and all that stuff. So I said I'm gonna roll out. And I rolled out, man. He was standing in front of the door, like he was saying bye. I said, hey man, what's up, man? He said, hey man, how you doing, man? How you doing? I said, all right. You know, that was the brief little moment we had. And but it seemed to me like he was saying almost like in the doorway, waiting for everybody to come out, like he was saying bye to people. Like, you know, okay, that was a bye, you know, I take it, you know, I don't know. That just seemed how it seemed to me. Then right after that, man, he was gone. You know, same thing with Nipsey. I seen Nipsey at the airport, man. I was buying some water. And he was on the phone. He came over, he saw me, he gave me a pound. He said, what's up, man? I said, what's up? 'Cause I think I did a movie with Nipsey. This movie called, I can't remember the name of this movie, but it was I think it was called Red Drum. I think the movie was called Red Drum, I think. And he was in the movie. And that's when I met him, you know. So yeah, I guess he recognized me. He said, what's up, man? And I said, hey, how you doing? You know, and right after that, he was gone. It's crazy.
Real crazy, man. R.I.P. Nipsey. And to go back to Tupac, you saw him 2 weeks before he passed away, right?
Yeah, yeah. He was gone, man. He was gone like it's like he was like setting it up. Like I'm just like, wow, you know. I mean, why would he stand in the middle of the door when everybody coming out? He was like right there in the middle so everybody could see him when they was coming out. You know, so I don't know if he was waiting on somebody or what it was, but he was saying, you know, like, you know, told me because I left and because I was the first one out because I had left before everybody else got ready to leave.
You being in Hollywood so long, right? Have you ever been offered a role that you wasn't happy with?
Yeah, it was a role that, speaking of Tupac, it's funny because it was a role that they wanted to play in this movie, and I was supposed to be like looking at Tupac and like excited by Tupac, like I was finna masturbate to the Tupac video. I ain't want to audition for that. I ain't gonna call the movie out, but I ain't gonna audition for that.
I know exactly the movie you're talking about too. Friday After Next, Terry Crews part.
I ain't gonna tell you the movie, but I ain't want to audition for that. I ain't want to, out of respect for Tupac, you know, ain't nothing else that you know. I respect him too much to do that, so I ain't want to do that. Yeah. But I ain't got nothing against nobody, you know. Hey, I ain't got what a man do for a living. It's his life, you know. But I didn't want to do that. Yeah. I just didn't want to do it, you know, because, you know, like I say, I respect the dude. And you know, that ain't me. That ain't my style.
So how did that come about? You being offered that role?
Now they didn't offer the role, it was for the audition. Yeah, my agent sent me the script. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna pass on this one. I'm gonna pass on this one. So yeah, I ain't even go in for it. You know, that's something that I in Hollywood that, you know, that I didn't feel comfortable with, man. You know, not to say that you know, it was bad for somebody else. It just wasn't for me.
Was that the only role that you turned down that you was uncomfortable with?
Um, well, I just got a script the other day, about maybe a month ago, a new movie that Roseanne Barr is finna do. I ain't feel comfortable doing that because of the stuff that she stood for. You know, I said, nah, I'm gonna pass on that one. And they asked you why did you pass on it. I was just, I sometimes, man, some of the things that people say can be hurtful to other people, and I don't want to be associated with that type of stuff. So that's why I did it. I said, nah, I didn't. It was cool with me because I was on the road anyway doing I was doing comedy. I didn't feel like reading through the script anyway. But when I seen her name, she was the star of the show, and I turned it down.
I hear you, man. So you turned that down because of what you believe in.
Yeah. Well, it ain't what she believes in, it's what she stand for. You could believe in what you want to believe in. That's cool. But if you stand for something, and you're making comments about certain people and things like that, then I prefer not to work with you. And if my beliefs might and my not beliefs, but what I said, what you stand for might be something that she can't deal with. So we probably wouldn't jailed on the set anyway. Because if I say one thing about the stuff that she stand for, then we be arguing the rest of the season. You know what I'm saying? So it's better. Sometimes it's best not to deal with that in order to have peace in your life, man. I want peace. I want to work on the set with somebody like Bernie, somebody like Martin. Where we have some of the same creative ideas and be able to laugh, and then off camera we could talk about things and not get into serious arguments where it become hate. I want to hate you, and I don't want you to hate me. So I said, nah, I'm gonna pass on this one. But whatever she do, I hope she be successful because I want to be successful. So, but I turned that one down. Those are only two things I think I ever turned down in Hollywood.
I'm looking at some of her past comments right now. I know she made some comments about Obama. You had an issue with that?
Well, not only that, man. I mean, you could talk about Obama. I don't care who you talk about. I mean, but what you stand for. You know, I mean, you have. I don't want to get into it deep, but you know, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I love kids. I love kids, and you can't hurt kids and then you be the one that support them. You support the person that hurt kids. You know what I'm saying? You can't put this person on the pedestal that did things or accused of doing something to kids, and you see evidence right in your face that you friends with this person that harm kids, and then here you are, a big time entertainer, big time star, and you support that. You support that person. So what you support? So I was like, nah, I'm good. And the things that she have said, got her kicked off of TV, got her kicked off of what? Was she on the ABC? Yeah, got her kicked off, man. I mean, you can't, man. Hate is not a place that somebody hate me and they hate what I stand for. I wouldn't want to work around them, and if I hate somebody, I don't want to ever get to the point that I hate somebody. But if you hate me, human nature is gonna make you want to hate somebody back. That's just it. So you don't have to work with somebody just to get money. And if you can't stand them and you don't like what they stand for, I don't care what you believe, if your religion, or we could work together. I don't care what your religion is, ideals. But, when you support a person that harm kids or associated with that, man, I can't get with you, man. Cause of when I go to, sometimes I go to, I visit like kids, like cancer patients and, kids and that have situations, man. I love them, man. I mean, I can't even, when I leave out the room, man, I can't even hold it, So sometimes I can't even go in there and talk to them, man, because I want to see kids out playing, not in the hospital locked up. And then you see people that hurt kids, and then you support them and you put them on a pedestal like they the best thing since pockets. I can't get with that. Yeah. But hey, man, you could believe I don't care if you believe in what your politics are, but when it comes to, you know, somebody that's been around a person that harming kids, man, nah, I can't get with that, man. If you like a president because of him, okay, but not what he do, what he accused of doing, or when you see him associating with the people that done it and trying to stop things from coming out. And so that was my thing. That was about a month ago, I think I got that audition, and I turned that down. So those are only two things that I haven't turned down.
Speaking of that, right? Let me ask you: do you believe in a casting coach? Is that a real thing?
I don't know, man. I ain't never been. I went into this. I one time. I went into this. I ain't call his name, man. But I went into this producer's office. He called me. He wasn't a producer at the time. He was a manager, and he a big time producer now. And I went into the office. I had to audition. He wanted me to. He sent me on audition. He was my manager. Sent me on audition, and I went. He said, "Well, come to my office first. I want to see how you do it." I'm like, "This kind of strange. I never go to my manager office to audition." I went in, and show him how I'm to do it. And I went in, man. He was sitting behind the desk with his underwear on, and his body all greased up, man. I was like, "Wow." So I did the audition. I got to go, man. I don't want to be late. He said, "Yeah, it's just hot in here. It's hot in here." I said, "Yeah." So I think I don't know if that was the closest I got to a casting couch, but I ain't never been in a situation like that before, man. But it was crazy. That was crazy. That was the wildest thing I ever had happen to me in Hollywood, man. Sitting there audition for a dude in his underwear, man. This is draws, and he had the tighty whities on. And body all greased up, dog. Yeah, man. It was in the middle of the day, man. And I was like, wow, this is crazy as hell right here. So you know him very well, but I ain't gonna call his name. Talk about it after.
What was your reaction when he did that? Did you say anything or?
Man, I was like, I was flabbergasted. I didn't know what to do, man. I just tried to audition. I tried to hear him do the audition so I could leave and go to what I was supposed to do the audition at. And so I was like, wow, this is strange, man. I was like, I hope it don't get no stranger than this in Hollywood. But that was the closest, that was the weirdest thing that I seen that ever, that first of all, I thought it was strange for me to go to my manager and audition first so he could see how I'm gonna do it. I ain't never had to do that before. That should have been the strike one right there. But that was crazy. He was sitting down in behind his desk like it was a routine thing.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it was, man. Hollywood wild, man. You see a whole lot of things. I heard a whole lot of stories that a couple of friends told me, man. So Hollywood wild, boy. It's changed, man. It's changed because now you don't go in audition no more. You have to send tape in now. Send a video of yourself audition. I don't like that. I used to like going in and being right there so they could see what you could do. That you could put, if they want to have changes, you can change on the spot. Now it's just like sending tape in, and I think it's hard to get roles like that because you're not really showing, your essence and your who you are, like the physical being there and really showing them something. So, it's different, man. Different game.
Hollywood, man. Hollywood, a piece of work, man. But I do want to ask you: do you believe that producer was trying to come on to you?
Yeah, I don't know because I know the dude that did it is he liked men, so I don't know if he was trying me or not. Maybe he was just like he wanted to see the audition. But at that time I was like, wow, this is kind of strange right here. Then when I was going to the audition, man, I was thinking about that junk all the way to the audition. When I think I got the part though.
You auditioned for Debo?
Oh yeah, I auditioned for Debo. I didn't know it was a comedy, man. I didn't know it was a comedy. I thought it was serious. I was like real serious with the junk, man. And it's funny because F. Gary Gray was in the bathroom. I didn't know he was the director. He was in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom before the audition. And he said, "Hey man, bro, man, do that, bro, man." I said, "Hey man, I got to audition, man. I got to audition." He said, "Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that." I say, "Nah, man, I got to audition." And then, man, when I went in the audition, he was sitting behind the desk, man. He was the director. I'm like, oh, man, he's in the bathroom telling me to do the bruh man thing. And I kind of like brushed it off. But audition, I didn't know it was, I thought it was serious, man. I thought shoot, I went in there, man. It's just like class act. I thought that role of the guy we was beating up all the time, my man Lamont Johnson played. I thought that was supposed to be serious. I went in there, man. I did straight hard Nino Brown style. And after audition, the director and everybody was like looking. They was like, "Wow." They say, "You know this is a comedy, right?" I said, "Oh nah, man, I didn't know this was a comedy." They said, "Well, that was great, man. But we gonna give you something up in here. That's another opportunity." They gave me the part of beating him up all the time. But I didn't know that part was a comedy, man. And Tiny he did a good job anyway. Tiny was one of my friends too. We used to always go to track meets, man. Mount Sac relays, may he rest in peace.
Yeah, he killed that Debo role. But I did hear you say when F. Gary Gray, when he asked you to, do the Broadman, that actually threw you off when it came to auditioning for Debo. You wasn't in your right mind.
Yeah, man, it did. It did. It kind of threw me off, man. Especially when I seen him sitting behind the desk. As I'm auditioning for him. I'm like, wow. And I was kind of all twisted. Now he probably think I can't act. But that's okay. But he threw me off, man. I was like, wow, So I'm sitting back there. I'm in there trying to audition, and I'm looking at him, thinking, dang, he asked me to do the thing, and I didn't. I did it. I didn't like totally brush him off, but I did it. But it kind of like threw me, man. But like probably wasn't meant for me anyway. So because Tiny did a darn good job, yeah.
Let me ask you this, right? You've been in Hollywood for decades and decades. You a Texas guy. You sound like you got your head on your shoulders. You're not into any kind of funny business. How was you able to avoid all the weirdo stuff in Hollywood?
I don't go out much, man. I don't go to the parties. I don't go to the to the all the extra activities that they have out, man, because I'm a home dude, man. I like being around my family. My wife, my kids. I mean, I've been married 38 years, man. Been with my wife 41 years, man. I just turned 60 years old, man. And I just like being at home, man. I don't get caught up in because I never drank in my life, never smoked in my life, never done drugs in my life. So I already got my girl. So it's like, what's out there for me? It's nothing out there for me, man. I mean, to rub elbows and stuff like that with people. Every now and then I do it. Then when I get invited to, like I say, when I got invited to the reboot, I mean reunion show, the Martin, and when I get invited to stuff like that, I go out. Sometime some of my friends that I respect a lot, they might ask me to come do a show for them, like Dana and Green, or Guy Torrey, Joe Torrey, something like them types. They ask me to come do a show. I go out and do a show for them or something like that, man. But other than that, I don't go out. That's how I stay. And then somebody can make you do something that you don't like doing anyway. I mean, if you get turned out, man, obviously then you probably want to dabble into that. So it ain't nothing I want to dabble in. So they can't convince me to do nothing that I don't want to do, man. Unless they drug me up or something, without me knowing. But I don't drink at parties anyway. Ain't nobody gonna rub no baby all on me in no party. So yeah, man, that's how I make it. I'm at the crib, man. If somebody want to get me, hurt me, man, they know where I'm at. I'm at the house sitting on the couch, same spot.
Well said, man. Well said. Great interview. Very insightful. we definitely got Rennish back again, man. But before we bounce, man, let the people know what you got going on.
Oh man, shoot. Let me see. Day after Thanksgiving, I'm gonna be in Pontiac, Michigan, doing the show. Me and Carl Payne gonna do the City Winery in Chicago, December 16th. We're gonna be there, and I'm gonna do a play in Plainsville, Texas. Sometime soon. I think January the 4th or 5th, something like that. And yeah, man, just look out. I have a lot of stuff coming down the road, man, doing a lot of shows. So, y'all come out. I'm gonna be at the Laugh House in Raleigh, Durham coming up. Yeah. So stay tuned. You'll hear about it.